The Action Line with Scott Walker.
With us now in studio, we have Dr. Trey Martindale, MTSU Associate Vice Provost for Online Learning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, what is online learning, and what do the numbers look like at MTSU as far as those who are learning online?
That's a great question. I would say business is good.
I bet.
MTSU overall has about 20,000 students, more or less, and we actually have about 3,000 students that are fully online. And so that surprises some people when I tell them that, because MTSU has been known for a long time as a great residential school, a great place to come for 4 years for your typical, 18 to 22-year-old student wanting to get a good education in a good hands-on kind of way. And so when I tell them we have 3,000 fully online students, they're a little surprised. But that's a fairly recent development. We've had a big run-up of online students in the past 3 or 4 years. I would say in part due to COVID, in a way, that showed people that, hey, a lot of things can actually be done online. So COVID was a terrible thing, but there were some things that came out of it in terms of learning about how to do online learning.
It's interesting you bring that up because it seems like COVID kind of sped up that entire online system of virtual everything from doctor's appointments to court appearances. I mean, it changed a lot.
It really did. Most of my day is now Zoom or Teams meetings, virtual meetings, for good or for ill, but it sure is convenient for people to not have to come over to our office or to me to travel somewhere for meetings. So you play that out in the online environment and you can see how that can work as well. But interestingly, most of our online courses are asynchronous, meaning not happening at a specific time. So not as many actual live meetings for students, but actually letting them work at their own pace, because many of our students, as you may know from MTSU, many of our students are also working second jobs, have parent responsibilities, child responsibilities, things that they have to do that make it difficult for them to be in a certain place at a certain time.
And something interesting about these numbers from MTSU, I read, I think it was as many as 57% of MTSU students have taken an online course. And that tells me that some of those who take the online courses, they're also going to class at the campus and having regular classes as well.
That's exactly right. That's actually our most common use of online courses is students that are residential or students that are at least geographically local using online to supplement their regular schedule. Because say I have a job in the afternoon or I have childcare duties or things like that. So letting them fill out in their schedule and get a full-time semester of classwork in a hybrid kind of way.
And some degrees offered by MTSU are fully online. How many are we talking here?
We currently have 83 programs. That includes degrees, certificates, concentrations that are fully online. So that's up now to almost a little over a quarter of all of MTSU's programs can be completed fully online.
That's great. I mean, because you have so many who are in the military. You have so many who used to be a resident of Murfreesboro. They moved away with their family years ago, but they like MTSU, they know MTSU, so they decide to take courses online with MTSU.
That's actually a really good insight, because there is national research to show that most online students actually attend or are part of a university that's within 100 miles of their geographic location. So brand strength is actually really important when a student is choosing a school. And MTSU has a wonderful brand. I worked at the University of Memphis for about 12 years previously to coming here. And so I knew a lot about MTSU, and I knew about its reputation for positive teaching environment and for really helping. MTSU is one of the good guys in that we're helping students to kind of lift themselves and their families. It's a great place to work. That was like a free commercial for MTSU. It's a wonderful place to work.
I think those listening would be surprised. Probably somebody has taken online courses. I know my son was in the military. He took online courses, got his undergrad degree. Now he's working on his master's, surprisingly online as well.
I took online courses as well, so I did some of that. So I take my own medicine. We're very aware of the market need and how students are actually voting with their feet in terms of signing up for online courses. And so MTSU as an institution, I think, has been really responsive to meet that need, because our goal ultimately is an educated citizenry for the state of Tennessee and beyond if students so desire, but particularly in the state of Tennessee. And so we've been able to step up and meet that demand.
So when these online students graduate, if they took the majority of their classes throughout those school years online, do they get to walk with the other graduates as well?
They certainly do. And most of them do. Oftentimes students will come for commencement ceremonies, and sometimes that's their first time on campus. Now, that's a little unusual, but it's not unheard of. But yes, they absolutely will participate in commencement and other on-campus activities and things like that, even athletics, the recreation center, things like that.
That's positive, because that is one of those biggest moments within your college life, is that graduation period and being able to accept that diploma in front of everybody.
That's right. And we've talked about how for those that cannot, how can we do some kind of equivalent kind of ceremony for those truly geographic students or military or veteran students or things like that.
And I'm curious, out of those who take online courses, do you have some who are in the military who may be overseas taking courses?
We do have some. There are some institutions around the country. I'm thinking about like Embry-Riddle and a few others that really focus on veteran students, but MTSU has a great reputation there as well. Our Charlie Daniels Veterans Center is very, very well known. And so we do have a number of military-connected students and families that are taking online courses.
How do the professors work with the student in cases where the student's in the military and they may have some assignment that they're going to be on whenever an exam is taking place or a paper needs to be turned in?
We encourage our faculty to be flexible, and we have a wonderful faculty at MTSU, and the ones that are teaching online have been trained to teach online, and so they know this is the environment they're going into. It is a little different teaching online and managing those interactions, but our courses are designed to be very interactive and very hands-on, lots of interaction with faculty. We have a pretty stringent quality assurance program to manage those courses. So in the case of, like you were asking, a veteran student or someone, let's say you're on a submarine for a few days, and you really have no access to anything. So we encourage our professors to flex with those students, and the students also share the kind of needs that they have for situations like that.
Again, with us in studio, Dr. Trey Martindale with MTSU. And in looking at some of these numbers, they're interesting because I'm looking at them right now, and it says 28% of fall 2025 undergrads and then 47% of all graduate students were online.
That's an interesting kind of mini fact in that you think about graduate students, most of them are a little bit older. Oftentimes they're working adults, professionals, have a career. Maybe they're in the Nashville area, but of course the traffic on I-24 has gotten worse even as we've been talking. People don't want to necessarily drive to campus more times than they need to. So we have several classes where it might meet one time a week, and then a couple of other times would meet virtually, would meet online, and some that are fully online, particularly for those graduate students.
I like the fact that some of the professors there, and you were talking, you've taken online courses too, but some of the professors there, a lot of them have taken online courses as well, so they fully understand and grasp what that's like to do the online thing versus in person.
That's really one of the best experiences you can have. I'm a longtime professor, but as a professor, taking online courses. So it's not just theory. You know what it's like. You know what it's like to be a student. If you've ever had a bad online course, for a while there, it was kind of the Wild West across the U.S. in the quality of online courses, but that's been much more firmed up. And so our courses, if you've been a student and you've been stuck and you could not get an answer or you couldn't get a response, that's a very difficult situation to be in. So we really coach and support our faculty to be as responsive as they can.
And that tells me the professors, the associate professors, they know the hardships of those online courses and the obstacles that can get in the way.
They do, and we're trying to gear our training for our faculty to recognize those realities. Now oftentimes, this may sound strange, but oftentimes our students are working at 2 o'clock in the morning because that's when they have time to work. And so they do that. So we try to build most of our courses to be that kind of asynchronous. Again, not live courses, but courses that they can complete at a time that they're able to do their work when they've, finished a shift or finished their childcare duties or things like that.
You kind of hinted at that. Those graduate students out there, a lot of them have families. A lot of them are even in their 40s, 50s even at times, and they're working not only their regular job, but they're coming home to kids, teenagers as well. So that can be tough.
That's right. Sometimes parent responsibilities and child responsibilities. So that's exactly right.
And where can people learn more information about this?
Everything that we do and that I've talked about and that we support, and even all the facts we talked about, are at mtsu.edu/online.
Easy enough. Yeah, and I'm sure you can Google search that as well and find all the details. As we close this morning, is it pretty easy to sign up for online classes?
It is. We have a really good admissions team, and they make things as smooth as possible, and they will help, especially adult students that are maybe thinking, I can't find my high school transcript. It's been a while since I was in high school. They will help with those kinds of things and get you admitted as soon as possible.
That's great, because some of the high schools are no longer here across Tennessee, especially, because we've grown quite a bit. Well, thank you again for joining us this morning. Again with us in studio, Dr. Trey Martindale, MTSU Associate Vice Provost for Online Learning, and maybe we'll talk more about this soon.
I hope so. Maybe I'll see you in one of my online classes.
That's right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
The Action Line on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Hi, this is Dan with Music World and Drummer's Den. Our prices are as good or better than the box stores. I don't think you'll do better by shopping online than you would by coming in. Being able to hold a guitar, try it out. You can't do that online. I am absolutely sure we have more selection of instruments than anybody else in the area. New and used. We have used instruments as well as new ones. Music World and Drummer's Den, 2762 South Church Street, right across from the golf course. Thank you very much.
This is Bud Rakes, former principal of Smyrna High School. I'm a resident of Adams Place, and I recommend that you come and visit us here at Adams Place. It's a great place to be. I'm sort of a loner to a certain extent. You can either mix with people or you can sort of be on your own. I'm friendly, and I like to work puzzles. That's my pastime besides working out. So I would encourage anyone to look at Adams Place because they'll have a hard time beating it.